Hello, this is February 19th, 2022. This is Astrology Talk. Today I'm going to talk about the Sun, which has just gone into Pisces, in the 12 houses of the Zodiac. When the Sun in Pisces is in the first house of your chart, it has to do with how you present yourself to the world, your personality, your general activity and assertions into the world as a human being. The Pisces energy is very receptive, very sensitive, very imaginative, and very intuitive. When the Sun is in your second house, that has to do with your survival. And one of the things it has to do with is your actual physical house and how you make a house for yourself, how you make a home, what is important to you in terms of survival. It also has to do with short trips and financial resources of yours. And when Pisces is there, one thing is important: you need to be near water. Pisces is very much oriented towards water. You also may depend on other people or look to other people for support in terms of your survival. Pisces is musical, and therefore you may be in the music industry as a way of earning money to support yourself. So Pisces in the second house can be quite helpful. The third house has to do with your siblings and communications, your communication with your siblings, as well as your communications with just casual friends and people that you meet. With Pisces in the third house of your chart, you tend to feel maybe inferior to other people sometimes. You tend to hold back, maybe hang back, and let other people be the aggressive ones or assertive ones. If you write poetry or play music or do anything that expresses yourself in an artistic way, that would show up in the third house with Pisces there. The fourth house has to do with your actual home and the mother, and it's what is important to you in a home. It's your nest kind of house. Not necessarily your physical home, but it does have to do with your physical home. But it's not as much about that as it is about where you feel at home. So if you move around a lot, that may be something that you want to do a lot, and you want to see the world, and wanting to see the world and making friends all over the world or all over the place, whatever, it feels like, that is how you feel at home. Pisces in the fourth house definitely again has to do with water. You want to be near water, you want open space, you want freedom, the sense of freedom and expansiveness. Maybe a lot of people who live in Montana have Pisces in the fourth house. I don't know. But because Montana is so huge, right? And so expansive and so much the big sky, they call it, right? Big sky, Montana. Pisces in the fourth house also, when it relates to your mother, makes you very, very close to your mother. Makes your mother want to take care of you, and it probably, indicates that you have a very caring mother who knows how to treat your medical issues and nurture you, very nurturing when you have Pisces in the 4th house as it pertains to the mother. It also can mean that you may not always see eye to eye with your mother, but you can discuss things because you really want to know what your mother thinks and feels. The 5th house has to do with children, recreation, romance, love affairs, your sexuality, all kinds of whatever your passions are. And with Pisces in the 5th house, it has to do with, your artistic abilities are huge there. And your sensitivity to others is very, very expansive in the 5th house with Pisces. And you love to connect with people. You love to interact with them on every level, and especially telepathically, because Pisces is very psychic, and you love to have that thrill of thinking what other people are thinking and sharing that. Pisces recreation usually has to do with water. Pisces romance, again, is very, very infused with love and sentimentality, and it's just hearts flowing all over the place. Pisces in the 6th house represents itself as a healer, perhaps. The 6th house has to do with your health and your, what you do, what you like to do for work. Not necessarily your career, but typically your career is featured there. But it's the house that has to do with work that you like to do, what you like to do. And you may not have a career doing what you like to do, but at some point in your life you will have that wake-up call where you think you need to change jobs and get into the field that you always wanted to be. Like, you could go from being anything to representing what Pisces is good at if something happens in your 6th house. And Pisces represents itself as counselors, doctors, any kind of healer, and musicians also sometimes in the spiritual fields, in any kind of spiritual discipline. And it also makes you take a bit of time to get, to find what your true calling is. Although you may hear it when you're a child, you may take some time to get there, because Pisces does some exploring. Pisces in the 6th house will do some exploring of a lot of different realities before feeling like you can settle there. Pisces in the 7th house has to do with relationships, contracts with other people, marriage. And when Pisces is there in your 7th house, it makes you receptive to the suggestions of others, maybe too receptive at times. It makes you go with your gut feelings, but not so much your guts, but just so your intuition. When it comes to contracts, you probably don't like paperwork, you probably don't like legal work or any kind of contracts or anything that has a lot of fine print. You probably don't like that if you have Pisces in Pisces in the 7th house. Even Mercury. The 8th house has to do with other people's money, life, death, birth, finances, and transition and transformation. And if you have Pisces energy in that house, you are very tuned in to the other realms. You're very tuned in to the deeper levels of any transitions that are involved, and transformations come naturally, but it doesn't exactly seem naturally, because you like to, if you have the Pisces energy in the 8th house, you like to you spend some time looking deeply into what all this stuff is that you see, that you perceive, that you feel. Pisces in the 9th house, the 9th house has to do with long trips, travel, religion, medicine, science, education, and Pisces there also is good for practicing medicine, practicing law, practicing anything as a career or as a profession that involves research and study and becoming an expert. If you have Pisces there, you'll be attracted to many, many things, want to see everything the world has to offer, and yet be drawn to specific areas which resonate with your intuition. The 10th house has to do with your career out in the world, and Pisces in that house, again, is good for being a professional healer, professional musician, spiritual leader. I mean leader, like a guru or a pope, someone who goes as far as they can in the field that manifests as a career of healing. It's a very interesting place to have Pisces, because Pisces is very receptive, and other people's ideas may convince you or influence you or pull you in different directions. However, you are, with any Pisces energy in the 10th house, you definitely have an effect on other people, a healing effect. Pisces in the 11th house is one of the things that can make you part of a team. The 11th house has to do with groups of people, associations with other people, and causes that you are interested in, and things that you are drawn to that manifest in a large way, in terms of the numbers of people involved and the amount of interests that are reflected. If Pisces is there, again, I'm thinking that maybe you would very much be attracted to animals and animal healing and animal care and anything that involves numbers, significant numbers, and mass effect. Water will be involved, and in extreme sensitivity. The 12th house, I think I said that was the 11th house, right? That was the 11th house that I just talked about. Okay, the 12th house has to do with some very interesting things. It's where your karma is reflected, where things that you can't see, the unknown, the occult, which means the unseen, any kind of situation where you are contained or restricted is sometimes reflected with Pisces in the 12th house. Your spiritual orientation specifically is reflected in the 12th house. And if you have any Pisces energy in the 12th house, it's somewhat complicated, but you are determined to see the roots of all of it. You are irresistibly attracted to whatever you are irresistibly attracted to. It's almost like if, an addiction kind of thing. Addictions can be reflected in the 12th house as well with Pisces there. Drug addictions, sometimes food addictions, but things that alter your state of mind. Things that come along in life that take you somewhere it's like it wasn't on the map, but you saw it on the map later and decided, I think I better go check that out because I'm so curious about it. I'm not talking about like a paper map or a real map or a Google map or anything like that, just sort of your path. So when Pisces energy is in the 12th house, the unseen becomes a focus. So I hope this has been helpful. I've tried to keep it short. If you have any questions, please write me at patriciacraven817@gmail.com or leave a comment. Thank you very much.